Let me tell you something important. The secret to success isn't what most people think. You see, most folks focus all their attention on what they want to have. They want the nice house, the good income, the wonderful relationships, but they miss the most crucial part of the equation. They don't focus on who they need to become to get those things. Success isn't about having first. It's about becoming first. Most people have the formula backwards. They think, when I have more money, I'll do the things wealthy people do, and then I'll be wealthy. That's backwards. First you become, then you do, and then you have. I learned this lesson early on. When I was a young man working at Sears, I was making $57.00 a week. I thought the problem was the economy, the government, my boss, everybody but me. Then I met my mentor, Mr. Schoaf, who asked me, Jim, how much are you worth right now? That question changed everything for me. I realized then that my paycheck wasn't based on the economy, it was based on my value. And if I wanted that to change, I had to change. Here's the simple truth I want to share with you today. You must act like the person you want to become long before you become that person. Most people have it backwards. They say, when I'm rich, I'll act rich. When I'm successful, I'll do what successful people do. But that's not how it works. Success isn't something you chase. Success is something you attract by the person you become. And becoming happens through doing, not through wishing, not through wanting, but through daily action. The secret of your future is hidden in your daily routine. I'm going to show you how to close the gap between where you are and where you want to be, and it starts with a simple idea: act first, feel later. Most people wait to feel motivated before they act. But successful people understand that action comes first and the feelings follow. You know, the interesting thing about success, it leaves clues. The people who have what you want have left a trail for you to follow. They've shown you through their actions what works. Your job isn't to reinvent the wheel, it's to study those who've already built the wheel and then do what they do. Success is neither magical nor mysterious. Success is the natural consequence of consistently applying basic fundamentals. But here's the challenge. Everybody knows what to do, but few people actually do what they know. So why is that? Why do we resist doing what we know we should do? I think it's because we're waiting to feel different, waiting for the right time, waiting until we're ready. But ready is a myth. Successful people weren't ready, they just started. Remember, don't wish it was easier, wish you were better. Don't wish for fewer problems, wish for more skills. Don't wish for less challenges, wish for more wisdom. The path to success isn't about having the right circumstances, it's about becoming the right person. Let me tell you about the gap between knowing and doing. Most of us know what to do, but there's this gap, this space between knowing and doing. And in that gap lies all our unfulfilled potential. That gap is where dreams go to die. So how do we close that gap? We close it through daily disciplines. Not occasional bursts of effort, but consistent, day in and day out disciplines. Small actions, taken consistently, compound over time into massive results. When I was young, Mr. Schoaf taught me, Jim, you can't hire someone else to do your push-ups for you. That stuck with me. You can't pay someone to develop your discipline. You can't outsource becoming the person you need to be. That work is yours alone. The foundation of all success starts with this understanding. Your outer world reflects your inner world. Your results mirror your actions. Your habits tell the truth about who you are. Not who you say you are, not who you intend to be, but who you actually are right now. Here's what I've found after all these years. For things to change, you must change. For things to get better, you must get better. For things to improve, you must improve. When you grow, everything in your life grows with you. Most people overestimate what they can do in a year and underestimate what they can do in 10 years. That's because they don't understand the power of consistent action over time. They want overnight success, but there's no such thing. What looks like overnight success is really years of preparation, meeting opportunity. Success is doing ordinary things extraordinarily well. It's about mastering the mundane. It's about doing what others won't do so you can have what others won't have, and it all starts with your daily habits. You see, we live in a world today where everybody wants the prize, but few want to pay the price. Everybody wants the gold medal, but few want to train like an Olympic athlete. Everybody wants the rewards, but few want the responsibility. But life doesn't work that way. You don't get the rewards without paying the price. You don't become successful without doing the work. You don't become the person you want to be without acting like that person first. Think about it. If you want to be healthy, you have to act healthy long before you see the results. If you want to be wealthy, you have to handle money like a wealthy person long before you have wealth. If you want to have great relationships, you have to be the kind of person who attracts great relationships. It's not magic, it's cause and effect. It's sowing and reaping. It's input and output. You can't plant apple seeds and expect to grow oranges. And you can't live one way and expect to become someone else. The mirror principle is one of the most powerful concepts I've ever learned. It simply means that your outer life mirrors your inner life. Your results mirror your actions. Your relationships mirror how you treat people. Your bank account mirrors how you handle money. Look at your results and they'll tell you the truth about your actions. Not what you intended to do or what you planned to do, but what you actually did. That's the mirror principle at work. I remember talking to a man once who told me he wanted to be wealthy. But when I looked at his habits, they didn't match his desire. He spent more than he earned. He watched TV instead of reading books. He avoided risk instead of learning to manage it. His actions didn't match his stated desires. I asked him, if you lived in a neighborhood where everyone did exactly what you do, would it be a wealthy neighborhood? He had to admit it wouldn't. That's the mirror principle. Your results reflect your actions, not your wishes. Your daily habits are like a mirror showing you who you truly are. If you don't like what you see in the mirror, don't blame the mirror. Change what it's reflecting. Change your habits and you'll change the reflection. The habits of your future self are available to you right now. You don't have to wait to start acting like the person you want to become. You can start today, right now. What would the person you want to become do today? How would they spend their time? What books would they read? How would they talk to others? How would they handle money? How would they take care of their health? These aren't complicated questions, but they're transformative if you answer them honestly and then align your actions with those answers. Character is built in the small moments when nobody's watching. It's built in the quiet decisions you make when there's no applause, no recognition, no external reward. It's built in those moments when you choose discipline over convenience, long-term gain over short-term pleasure, growth over comfort. I've found that most people don't really have a money problem or a time problem or a relationship problem. What they have is a character problem. And character isn't something you're born with. It's something you build, decision by decision, day by day. Character is doing the right thing when the right thing isn't easy. It's keeping promises to yourself. It's following through even when you don't feel like it. It's living by design, not by default. Your character today determines your success tomorrow. Who you are determines what you attract into your life. Your character is like a magnet drawing things to you, opportunities, people, circumstances. You don't attract what you want, you attract what you are. First, health. How does the person you want to become treat their body? Do they make time for exercise, or do they make excuses? Do they fuel their body with nutrition, or do they poison it with junk? Do they get enough rest, or do they borrow energy from tomorrow to pay for today? Your future self, the healthier, more energetic version of you, is available right now through your choices. You don't have to wait to feel motivated. You don't have to wait until January 1st. You just have to ask, what would the healthier version of me do right now? And then do that. Health isn't just about living longer. It's about living better. It's about having the energy to pursue your dreams. It's about being fully present for the people you love. It's about experiencing life at its fullest. Next, wealth. How does the person you want to become handle money? Do they spend first and save what's left? Or do they save first and spend what's left? Do they invest in assets, or do they accumulate liabilities thinking they're assets? Do they work for money their whole lives, or do they learn to make money work for them? Wealth isn't just about having money, it's about having options. It's about having freedom. It's about being able to say yes to opportunities and no to obligations. It's about being able to help others financially. The wealthy person you want to become isn't waiting for more money to start handling money well. They're handling the money they have right now with discipline and wisdom. Third, relationships. How does the person you want to become treat others? Do they listen more than they talk? Do they give more than they take? Do they keep their word? Do they show up when it matters? Do they communicate with honesty and kindness? The quality of your life is determined by the quality of your relationships. And the quality of your relationships is determined by who you are in those relationships. If you want better relationships, become a better person. If you want to be respected, become respectable. If you want to be loved, become lovable. If you want to be heard, become a better listener. Fourth, personal growth. How does the person you want to become invest in themselves? Do they read regularly? Do they seek out mentors? Do they put themselves in challenging situations where they can grow? Do they reflect on their experiences and extract the lessons? Fifth, contribution. How does the person you want to become give back? Do they serve others? Do they use their talents to make a difference? Do they think beyond themselves? I've found that the most fulfilled people aren't those who take the most, they're those who give the most. They understand that we make a living by what we get, but we make a life by what we give. The person you want to become knows that true success isn't just about accumulation, it's about contribution. It's not just about getting, it's about giving. It's not just about achieving, it's about serving. In each of these 5 areas, you can start acting like your future self today. You don't have to wait until you feel ready or until the conditions are perfect. You just have to decide and then act on that decision. Now, I know what you're thinking. Jim, this all sounds good, but it's hard. I've tried before and failed. I understand that. I've been there too. We all have. So let's talk about why we resist doing what we know we should do. The first reason is fear. Fear of failure, fear of success, fear of the unknown, fear of what others might think. Fear keeps more people small than anything else. But here's what I've learned about fear. You don't overcome fear by thinking about it. You overcome fear by acting in spite of it. The second reason is comfort. We're drawn to what's familiar, even if what's familiar isn't serving us well. We like our comfort zones. But growth happens outside your comfort zone. Everything you want is outside your comfort zone. The person you want to become understands that temporary discomfort is the price of permanent improvement. They're willing to be uncomfortable now for a better future later. The third reason is instant gratification. We live in a world that promises everything now. But real success doesn't work that way. Real success requires delayed gratification, the ability to pass up immediate pleasure for long-term gain. The person you want to become thinks long-term. They make decisions based on their future, not just their feelings. They're willing to do what others won't do so they can have what others won't have. The fourth reason is lack of belief. Many people don't believe they can change. They think this is just who I am, but that's not true. You are not your past. You are not your habits. You are not your mistakes. You are what you choose to become. So how do we overcome these obstacles? By creating personal standards. Standards are different from goals. Goals are about what you want to achieve. Standards are about who you are. When you turn something into a standard, it's non-negotiable. It's not something you do sometimes or when you feel like it. It's something you do, period, because it's who you are. I'll give you an example. If brushing your teeth is a standard for you, you don't debate whether to do it each day. You don't wait until you feel motivated. You just do it because that's your standard. That's who you are. The person you want to become has high standards. They don't need external motivation because they're driven by their internal standards. They don't do what's easy. They do what aligns with who they want to be. Your standards determine your success. Raise your standards and you raise your life. The quality of your life is a direct reflection of the standards you set for yourself. And here's the key. You get to choose your standards. No one else sets them for you. You decide what's acceptable and what's unacceptable in your life. You decide who you want to be and what standards that person lives by. Creating personal standards eliminates a lot of decisions. Should I exercise today? If it's a standard, there's no decision to make. Should I save and invest? If it's a standard, there's no decision to make. Should I keep my word? If it's a standard, there's no decision to make. Standards simplify your life while elevating it at the same time. They free up mental energy for more important decisions. They create momentum that carries you forward. The person you want to become is careful about their associations. They seek out mentors and models. They read books written by wise people. They put themselves in environments that support their growth rather than sabotage it. You know, one of the best ways to become the person you want to be is to find someone who's already there and learn from them. Success leaves clues. You don't have to figure it all out on your own. Books are a wonderful way to associate with great minds. For the price of a book, you can tap into decades of someone's experience and wisdom. The person you want to become is a reader. They understand that who they become depends on the information they feed their mind. Another way to become who you want to be is to find an accountability partner or group. Someone who will hold you to your standards when you're tempted to lower them. Someone who will remind you of who you're becoming when you forget. The right environment makes doing the right things easier. It doesn't guarantee success, but it sure improves your odds. Let me tell you about one of the most important principles for becoming who you want to be. The compound effect. Small actions repeated consistently over time compound into remarkable results. If you improve just 1% each day for a year, you'll end up 37 times better, not just 365% better. That's the compound effect at work. Small improvements compound exponentially over time. Enough. The challenge is that the compound effect works in both directions. Small negative actions repeated consistently compound into big problems. Small positive actions repeated consistently compound into big successes. The choice is yours. But either way, time is going to pass. A year from now, you'll be a year older. The question is, will you also be a year better? The person you want to become harnesses the power of the compound effect. They focus on small daily improvements rather than dramatic overnight changes. They trust the process even when progress seems slow. I remember talking to a young man who wanted to become financially independent. He told me he couldn't afford to invest. I asked him, if you can't afford to invest $100, 0 cents per month now, what makes you think you'll be able to invest $1,000, 0 cents per month later? The truth is, it's not about the amount, it's about the habit. Starting small is better than not starting at all. The person you want to become doesn't wait for perfect conditions. They create the habit now and improve the conditions over time. The same principle applies to every area of life. Want to become a writer? Write a little each day. Want to become healthy? Make one better food choice today. Want to become an expert? Study for 30 minutes every day. Small, consistent actions are the building blocks of remarkable lives. They're how ordinary people become extraordinary. They're how you become the person you want to be. I've seen too many people give up just before their breakthrough was about to happen. They couldn't see the progress, so they assumed there wasn't any. But often, progress isn't linear. It builds slowly at first, then suddenly accelerates. Think about water heating up. It gradually warms from 32 degrees to 211 degrees, and you don't see much change. But then it hits 212 degrees, and suddenly you've got steam that can power an engine. That 1 degree makes all the difference. Your life works the same way. You make small changes day after day, and it seems like nothing's happening. Then suddenly, everything changes. You reach a tipping point where all those small disciplines pay off in a big way. Let me share something else about becoming the person you want to be. It's a never-ending journey. There's no final destination. The moment you think you've arrived is the moment you begin to decline. The person you want to become is always growing, always learning, always pushing to be better. They understand that life isn't about reaching a particular point and then coasting. It's about constant, never-ending improvement. I've been at this personal development thing for decades now, and I'm still working on becoming a better version of myself. That's the beauty of life. There's always room to grow, always something new to learn, always ways to become more. Don't measure yourself against others. Measure yourself against who you were yesterday. Are you better today than you were yesterday? Are you growing? Are you moving forward? That's what matters. The person you want to become focuses on progress, not perfection. They don't expect to transform overnight. They celebrate small wins along the way. They're patient with the process while remaining impatient with mediocrity. So what's the first step in becoming the person you want to be? Start acting like that person today. Not tomorrow, not when you feel ready, not when conditions are perfect. Today. Ask yourself, what one thing would the person I want to become definitely do today? Then do that one thing. Tomorrow, ask the same question and do that one thing. Keep going, day after day. One day you'll realize you're no longer acting like the person you want to become. You've actually become that person. The gap between who you are and who you want to be will close through consistent action over time. Remember, you don't have to do everything at once. You just have to start somewhere and keep going. The person you want to become isn't perfect. They're just committed to growth. Let me tell you something important. Your future is created by what you do today, not tomorrow. Your habits are creating your future right now. Every action you take is like casting a vote for the person you want to become. If you want a different future, cast different votes today. Vote for health by making better food choices. Vote for wealth by saving and investing. Vote for better relationships by being fully present. Vote for growth by learning something new. Vote for contribution by serving others. Each vote might seem small on its own, but over time, those votes add up to create the person you become and the life you live. The gap between knowing and doing is closed through action. Not knowledge, not intentions, not goals, not wishes, action. The person you want to become takes action. So let me ask you one more time. Who are you becoming and what are you doing today to become that person? Don't wait for someday. Don't wait until you feel ready. Don't wait for perfect conditions. The person you want to become is taking action right now, today, with whatever they have, wherever they are. And you can too. In fact, you must if you want to close the gap between who you are and who you want to be. Act like the person you want to become, and eventually you will become that person. That's not just a nice saying, it's a fundamental law of personal development. It's how ordinary people become extraordinary. It's how you become the best version of yourself. Start now. Start where you are. Start with what you have. But start. The future you will thank you for it. Remember, success is not something you pursue. Success is something you attract by the person you become. So focus on becoming, and the having will take care of itself. This is me reminding you that your life doesn't get better by chance. It gets better by change. And that change begins with acting like the person you want to become.